Take a deep breath and settle into your comfy chair. Welcome to the Healers Collective, the podcast that will alchemize your health and ignite an expansion within your soul. I'm Caroline Nixon, and with my over 25 years of experience in all things holistic, as well as being a psychic, a healer, and a medical intuitive, I will guide you deeper into your energetics, your body, and your soul, supporting you along your path to be the best healer, psychic, energy worker that you can be, knowing and trusting that your body is fully supporting you. Together, we will be navigating all things energy, vibration, frequency, mindset, soul, body, spiritual practices, and more as we move through this thing called life. So grab a cup of something hot and let's get to it.
Hello and welcome to the Healers Collective podcast. This is episode 23. Are you giving your power away? This is a big topic. I'm going to touch on it and then I'm going to invite you to join the conversation. So, what do I mean by giving your power away? We hear that all the time in the spiritual community, but I see it a lot in life in general. We give you can also say giving your peace away. It can be used as well. It's a little bit different, but I'm going to use some examples in my own life where I've given my peace away. And giving your peace away is, say you're driving down the street and you're just like, la, 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 and someone cuts you off or someone, honks at you or turns in front of you or whatever. Someone, you feel disrespects you in some way, big or small. Doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. It's their fault, your fault, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you get like if your nervous system goes, or you get mad or you have a reaction, okay, and then you keep stewing on it, right? You keep stewing on it. You keep thinking about it. Maybe you talk to your partner about it, or you're like, oh man, I was driving today and this person cut me off. And like, you're giving it your energy. You're giving it your peace. So that's kind of what I mean. Like, you're just in your zone and then someone outside of you triggers you or whatever, and you're giving them your peace. Now, that's not to say that anytime you're triggered, you're giving your peace away, because I personally feel, and I'm not inviting this into my life universe, but I personally feel that when we get triggered by something outside of ourselves, there is always something for us, whether it's to learn, to heal, to release, to look at, to understand. We can choose to do that inner healing or not. I have found, however, that just do yourself a favor and stop what you're doing and look at it because the universe will keep bringing that to you until you actually look at it. And it can get quite messy, sticky, yucky until we go, all right, I will look at it. Jeez. And we're doing it to ourselves. We're here to learn and grow, right? So that is kind of what I mean about giving your peace away. I will tell you a little story again about giving your peace away, and then I'm going to talk about giving your power away. I'm on an HOA board. Okay, my community has a homeowners association, and I've been on the board before, and I'm on it now. And we have a couple of members on the board that are very difficult in my view. Okay, they're very strict and follow the rules, and I have found myself feeling frustrated with the strictness, And I talk about it with my husband because he used to be on the board. And then I feel myself getting riled up. because it's very human stuff. It's like, oh my God, why are they, and I have noticed, and again, I'm human. I'm still learning and growing, and there are things that still trip me up in this life, and I'm working on them. And the first part of like healing it is to actually see that it's happening. And so, I've been talking to my husband about it, and I said, you know what? We're giving our peace away to this situation that we have no control over. We don't have control over what they do. We don't have any control. We can only control our response to it. I said, so let's just make like an agreement that we're not going to talk about them anymore and give away our peace, because when you get, how when you get around somebody else and like they're gossiping or they're like in a bad mood and negative, and you're like, yeah. And you go back and forth. Now, again, this isn't something I always do. I am, I don't know, 85% of the time, 88% of the time, I'm a very positive person. I'm solution focused. I acknowledge how I feel, but I don't like sit and wallow in it for too long. And I don't like drama at all. But I'm human, and sometimes I get sucked in. Hold on. Sometimes I allow myself to get sucked in, because you're always choosing it. You're always choosing it. Isn't it interesting how easy it is to get sucked in? Not really, but like you allow yourself to get sucked in. But I find it to be pretty easy to get sucked in to that energy. And I think that's one of the reasons why people are so unhappy, because it is easier. There's a Smiths song. Oh my gosh, I dated myself. I love the Smiths from the 80s. I was born in 1970. And there's a Smiths song that says, it takes strength to be gentle and kind. And I remember that. I can't remember the name of the song, but I can remember that lyric. And I feel like that can be true sometimes. It feels so much easier to get sucked into the drama, because that's easy, that's safe, that is small, that's lower vibrational, right? It does take more intention and I will say strength, for a lack of a better word, especially when you're dealing with like your general population, because I feel like there's some beautiful humans on this planet, and I feel like there's a lot of darkness on this planet. A lot of heavy, a lot of dense energies. So it can feel harder to be positive, but not toxic positivity. It's not what I'm talking about, because a lot of my work is in the shadows. It is in the darkness, looking at all of those dense, like sticky, icky, yucky emotions and feelings, and that guilt and shame and disgust, and all of that stuff is important to look at so that we can shine light on it. That's part of the shamanic work that I do, is bringing light to the darkness. But here's the thing, I still catch myself from time to time. I'm human, okay? There is no perfection. I'm a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. And I hope that gives you permission to let yourself off the hook if you slip from time to time into that negative thinking and even into that drama, okay? So, long story short, it's when you give, that's for me, that's giving my peace away. But you can also say it's giving your power away as well. But what I wanted to talk about a little bit today is something I see a lot, and I want to just see what you think about this, is giving your power away to your mentor, or to your healer, or to your psychic, okay? Or to your energy worker, or even your massage therapist, or your chiropractor, or your doctor, okay? Anytime you take their view, their opinion, their guidance even as better than yours, or it must be right because it's coming from this person. Anytime you put anybody on any kind of pedestal, you're giving your power away. And that's, again, that's not good or bad or right or wrong, but what I've noticed within myself is that if I take what my mentor says, and I have a mentor and I love her and she's amazing, but if I take everything she says at, well, it came from her, so it must be 100% true. I've got to do what she says, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not running it through my own filter. I'm not sitting with it. I'm not feeling into it. I'm not like getting my own read on it. And I'm just taking what they say. You're giving your power away. Okay. And again, it's not good or bad or right or wrong, but is it holding you back from being the sovereign, embodied, amazing you that you, like the highest version of you that you can be? Yeah, it is. You're giving your power away. Anytime you give your power to your partner and have them make the decisions for you. And we do this all the time, and we do this in a lot of little ways. So I want you to think about like where, and if you don't know, if you're like, I don't give my power away, what are you talking about? You crazy. I want you to ask the universe, show me where I'm giving my power away. And the universe is going to show you. We're here to learn and grow. If you knew everything, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. You'd be in another lifetime somewhere else. So I advise you to not like worry about like, oh, I suck and I'm just terrible and see, I don't know anything. No, 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 no. Everything's a learning opportunity. So give yourself permission to go deeper. Because when you realize that you're giving your power away, guess what? As a powerful creator, you can call your power back to you. I did a healing slash, I don't know, thing. I don't know what I'll call it. I guess it was a healing. Maybe it was an activation on myself. I do energy work on myself all the time. And I'm coming up with like new ways to do healing and different ways to do healing. And so I use myself as a guinea pig. And I did a healing. It was a shamanic journey where I called back my power, like more than I've ever done in my life. And I could see my power coming back to me as little threads. And I can see like anywhere I've put my energy on someone. So again, you can give your power away, but you can also be taking other people's power away. And that's the other side of it. If you are so intertwined with your clients and you're just doing all the healing work for them, you are taking people's power away. You can do this with your kids if you don't allow them to make mistakes and learn. Because remember, we're souls and bodies having a human experience. Just because the soul might be a child doesn't mean that the soul, like your child has a soul. The soul in your child is very wise and knows the plan that they came in with. And if you're like, what do we call them, helicoptering, and not letting them make mistakes and learn, you are taking their power away. Anytime you think you know more than anybody else and you're like giving them your opinion and telling them what to do, I mean, I'm literally like using my hand as a claw, like you're clawing at their energy and you could be taking their power away. Anytime you think you know more or better or what someone should do, unless they're a paying client and you are tuning in and getting information, but like I'm talking about people in your life, if you're like you got to do this and you need to do that. And this is what, like going up to strangers and giving them readings without their permission, you're taking their power away. They didn't ask you for a reading. They didn't even ask you for your opinion. So these are things that it's important, I feel, to have a conversation about and to really think about just in and of yourself, not to berate yourself, but getting back to my experience is I was pulling my power off of my kids and even my husband. And because as a psychic, we can see a lot, we can feel a lot, we can know things, but that doesn't mean the person that we're getting that information, especially like close loved ones, doesn't mean they're asking. It doesn't mean they're ready, willing, or able to do the work that we see. We can even see people's potential, but unless they're showing up to, participate in their potential, even paying clients, they may or may not be ready to do the healing work. I've worked with people who are not ready, willing, or able to do the healing work. And you meet them where they're at and you don't take their power away. You give them, and you make sure that you are got really good boundaries with them so that you can meet them where they're at and then let go of the expectation of whether or not they're going to take your advice or not, because it doesn't matter. You've given them what you can and you let people do their own thing. Okay. So I wasn't shocked, but I was like, wow, okay, look, I'm doing that. Okay, I've got my energy all up in here and I need to pull it back into myself. When you can do that, and I'm not going to say almost, I feel like this is a daily practice, because you want to make sure that other people also aren't hooked into you with their expectations. So this is one of the reasons why I've talked about in earlier episodes about making sure you know what's on your energy, doing your energy hygiene, because you don't want to be plugged into other people like that, and you don't want other people plugging into you like that. So it's important, and it doesn't take long. The more you do it, the quicker you get at it. And also, as you're moving through your day, just la, 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 you can feel it and go, whoa, did something just hook into me? Did I just hook into something? Okay, well, let me look at that. And then you can see it quicker, feel it quicker, know that it's there, and then just like release it, understand it, release it, and move on with your day. Excuse me. So I want to see if there's anything else I want to say. It's a big conversation. And I've opened up a lot to talk about. And maybe we can do another podcast about this. I guess in summary, it's important to know where your energy's at all times, where you're giving your power away to anyone, including your mentor, your psychic, your energy worker, and not taking responsibility for your own energy. Like, it's like going to the doctor and saying, just fix me, or going to your massage therapist and saying, just fix me. I'm not going to do anything different on my end. I want to just come here, lay down, and have you rub me, and all of my muscles are going to be perfect, and I don't have to do anything. Okay, I'm making a joke, but that's kind of what we can sometimes do with our mentor as well. It's like, I just want you to fix me. And I've done that jokingly with my mentor. I'm like, could you just tell me what to do? Could you just fix me? And she laughs, and then I laugh, and then we laugh, and then she says, no. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing for you. And it's up to me as the paying client to take it and run it through my system, and then I get to choose what I'm going to do. If I don't do what she says, that's on me.